My name is Michael. I'm 55 years old. I'm a black man, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. The wind off Lake Michigan shaped me as much as the streets did. I live a simple life now. Quiet apartment on the north side, no pets, no loud music after 9. I work as a senior manager in a small international trading company. Good benefits, steady paycheck. I've been there long enough that most people come to me when something doesn't add up. My days are orderly. My nights are even quieter. I was married once, a long time ago. We tried, we really did, but some things don't hold. When it ended, I learned how to be alone, cook for one, shop for one, fall asleep to the sound of my own breathing. Or at least I thought I had learned. Then one ordinary Tuesday morning, a new employee started in our department. Her name was Anya. She was 24, from Russia. Moscow, she said softly when HR introduced her. Young, sharp, polite in a way that felt old world. She shook hands firmly but gently, looked people in the eye and said thank you like she meant it. Her English was careful, with that soft, rolling accent that made every word feel a little more deliberate. She listened more than she spoke. When she smiled, and it wasn't often, it felt real. No performance, just quiet warmth. At first, she was simply the new hire. I did what I always do. Welcomed her and walked her through the office, explained the software, the filing system, the quirks of our clients. Nothing more. I told myself, out loud in the car on the way home that first day, Michael, she's young, just starting out. Keep it professional. And I did. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, almost without noticing, I started seeing the small things about her. The way she always thanked the janitor by name. How she stayed late to finish a task, never complaining, even when her eyes looked tired. The thoughtful questions she asked in meetings, not to show off, but because she genuinely wanted to understand. She drank tea, not coffee, herbal, usually. The faint scent of chamomile sometimes drifted across the aisle. When she laughed at something someone said, it was low, almost shy, like she was surprised by her own joy. People listened when she spoke. The room seemed to quiet just a little. I found myself looking forward to our brief check-ins, found myself noticing when her desk was empty, lunch break or maybe a doctor's appointment. I didn't want to name what was happening inside me, but something was shifting. One afternoon, she leaned toward my screen and asked, "Michael, could you help me make sense of this quarterly report? The numbers, they confuse me a little." I pulled up a chair beside her, explained it step by step, slowly. We weren't touching, not even close, but I could smell her perfume, light, clean, like fresh linen and something faintly floral. My chest tightened in a way it hadn't in years. That night, driving home, her face stayed behind my eyes. I told myself to stop, but the heart doesn't always obey commands. I started looking in the mirror more. Really looking. The lines around my eyes, the gray threading through my beard, the weight of 55 years. I asked the quiet apartment, "Why now, man? Why her?" A few days later, her phone was face up on her desk while she stepped away. A photo slideshow played automatically. Pictures of her with friends in Red Square, laughing on a train somewhere in Europe. Young faces, bright futures. I looked away quickly, but the weight settled in my chest. She was building a life still wide open. I was looking back at one mostly lived. I told myself, this is not right. You need to shut this down. But feelings don't vanish because reason demands it. One Saturday, I needed air, needed to walk. I ended up downtown near the lake, found a bench, watched the world go by. Young couples holding hands, older ones walking slower, still side by side, families laughing, kids running ahead. Then I heard it, a soft, familiar laugh carried on the wind. I looked up. Anya. She was with a group of friends, speaking rapid Russian, gesturing with her hands, smiling in a way I'd never seen at the office. Free, alive, radiant. She didn't notice me, and I was glad she didn't. In that moment, sitting there on that cold bench, something became clear. She belonged to a world still unfolding, full of possibility. Mine had already taken its shape. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Monday morning, I kept my distance, spoke only when needed, stayed in my office more. She noticed. Late one afternoon, she appeared at my door. "Michael," she said gently, "are you okay? You seem far away today." I managed to smile. "I'm good, Anya. Just a lot on my mind." She studied me for a second, then nodded and smiled back. That small smile followed me the rest of the day. A few weeks later, we were the last two in the building. Lights dimmed in the hallway, city sounds faint through the windows. She finished packing her bag, then paused near my desk. "Michael," she said, voice soft, "thank you for always helping me, for answering my questions. You make this place feel safe." Safe. That single word landed deep, like a hand on an old wound I didn't know it was still tender. I looked up at her, really looked. Young, beautiful in a quiet way, full of promise. And in that quiet office, I made my choice. I spoke slowly, carefully. "Anya, you are a remarkable woman, intelligent, kind. You deserve every good thing. A full life, real love, all the happiness the world can give. I care about you, more than I should maybe, but I respect you and myself too much to ever cross that line. You have a bright road ahead. I won't stand in its light." She was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded, eyes gentle. "I understand," she said simply. No tears, no drama, no big confession. Just two adults choosing honesty over complication. After that, the air between us changed. We still worked together, still spoke, still shared the occasional laugh, but a respectful distance stayed in place, and it felt right. Time moved on. She grew more confident in her role, started speaking up more in meetings, made friends in the city. She talked about plans, travel after saving more, maybe grad school one day, dreams she was still shaping. I listened, smiled, felt quietly proud. One afternoon, she stopped by my desk. "I have news," she said. "I've accepted a position in New York. Better opportunity. I leave next month." I looked at her for a beat, then smiled, genuinely. "I'm happy for you, Anya, truly." And I was. Her last day came too quickly. The office threw a small goodbye gathering, cake, cards, well wishes. When most people had gone, she came to me one last time. She hugged me, brief, respectful, warm. "Thank you, Michael, for being kind, for being you." Then she was gone. The office felt emptier the next morning, but my heart, for the first time in a long while, felt peaceful. That night, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, looked myself in the eye, and said, "Michael, you did the right thing." I learned something I hadn't expected at this stage of life. Love isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about protection. Sometimes it's about stepping aside so someone else can run toward their future. Caring deeply doesn't give us the right to redirect another person's path. Today, I'm back to my quiet routines, but there's a clarity now that wasn't there before. Anya remains a chapter in my story. Not a regret, not a mistake, a gentle reminder. A reminder that even at 55, the heart can still stir. And wisdom, real wisdom, sometimes means guiding that heart with open hands. Thank you for listening to my story. If anything in it touched you, hold this close. True love is never selfish, and sometimes the strongest and lasting form of love is choosing to let go. See you next time.